There we go. How you doing? Let's just get today's topics in here, pin it, and then get right to it.
Good morning, good morning.
What the hell? Both lives. See, I think it's the cancel. Might check one too. Oh, there we go. I think we're good. It's connected right here.
Good morning, good morning.
Wi-Fi's been doing this lately. You gotta figure that out. It just canceled both of them. Said interconnection is done. You're getting good internet connection? Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Telling your fathers that you started a live. There we go. Let me get in there. Richie, how you doing? Alright, everyone do me a favor as you're coming in right now. Send this out to 5 people. Should be good to go now. Here we go. And shout out to everybody in our YouTube family that's also joining us live and direct in the comfort of your home. There we go. As everyone comes in, good morning, good morning, good morning. Wrong guy made it. Yes, sir. Shout out to everybody right now. Civic holiday. All right, there we go. We got everybody. Finally, a Monday off. Yes, yes, yes. Good morning, Top Boss. Morning to you as well, too. No days off with this, so I'm glad that a lot of people who usually are working, you have the time to tune in. That's what I like to see. No days off. Well, y'all know, maybe you can, I put the topics in there, but it's not showing up right here. Everything blessed, fam. Hope you're doing good, fam. We met outside last night. Bro, this weekend, I'm not going to lie, shout out to everybody I met. Oh, you know what? I like that because I baked the Motivation Monday at Blacko while we got kicked out while the party was done. So I'm glad you found the time to tune in. There we go. I can't pin. Let me do it again. Everyone do me a favor in the meantime though. All I need everyone to do is send this out to 5 people. Send this out to your immediate circle who you share memes with. I apologize as well too. My voice may sound a little, it got overused this weekend. But we're here in direct, no excuses. How did I not run into E-Bone outside this weekend? Bro, we was outside, but don't worry. It was supposed to be, we were supposed to be at OVO Fest today together, but don't worry, that's, God had other plans. God did. Shout out to DJ Khaled as well too. Okay, you know what? Wavy, see if you can copy and paste what I put in the group, and it's not coming up for me on this phone, but like I said, everyone do me a favor, send this out to 5 people, your friends, your immediate circle, somebody that you share memes with, financial advice with, any of those posts that are educational. This is the space for everybody right now. So as we get everybody coming, I hope everyone had an amazing weekend. Toronto almost did a really good job this weekend in staying safe, but like Liese was a disaster in the west and the east. But here we are, still better than what people thought it was gonna be. So it was good that everyone could go out. How was your weekend?
My weekend overall was good, productive like always. I did get some time off. I didn't get to sleep much, although I had some time off. Kind of a little fender bender at the end of the week, but we don't let those moments hold us back. But overall, it was good to see a few faces,
So did you get to go anywhere, go out? Did you?
I actually got in an accident on Thursday.
Oh, wow.
I got in a car accident on Thursday. I'm here healthy and well, cars damaged, cars in the shop. It kind of threw a wrinkle into my weekend, but I adapt. I roll with it. And yeah, I made the most of the weekend.
You gotta. Life sometimes can take a toll on us, especially during like times. Right, I'm pretty sure it wasn't expected.
No, it wasn't expected at all. Things happen. It's just.
But yeah, Carnival in the weekend. I think a lot of people were happy to see something that was taken away for 2 years finally come back and see people embrace their true colors. I was expecting to see Wavy on Lakeshore with the flag and mush up some works, but I guess we'll wait till next year and have our real band, or maybe bring him to the motherland next year and see what's going on. We're talking about UK too, so we'll see what's good. But here we are. Good morning to everyone as well too. I appreciate everyone coming in, making sure they drop the good morning live in the chat. This is episode 42. Our topics for today is the importance of being independent and the feelings of getting taken advantage of. So we're gonna talk more about it, dig deep into what even the word independence means and why it's important to be independent and make sure that you put yourself first before you put on others. And it's a new month as well too. Today's August 1st or July 31st? August 1st. So it's a new month, new blessings. Whatever happened in July, guys, is the past. We gotta focus. You got bills to pay, or if you already paid your bills, make sure you handle what you gotta handle, because life doesn't care. It's funny. Every time a new month comes, you're like, damn. I'm pretty sure this year went by quick. I don't know if I'm the only one that thinks that, but it went by super quick. Like 8 months in already.
Yeah, and it's good, like as you mentioned, for us to get some of the things that we have as a routine, like Carabana coming back. We're getting back to what we know, and familiar grounds. It's good. The last 2 years kind of been shaky for everybody, kind of dealing with all the uncertainty. So to have things rolling back to how it used to be, it's good. We're in good hands.
And it's good to see how people embrace the culture. That's what I realized this weekend. There's so much that maybe people don't know. A lot of people played Mass for the first time. And I think it's very important that in order to even know your true self, you got to know where you come from.
Yeah, going back to the roots, there's an African saying says it's called Sankofa, meaning going back to your roots, like going back to where it is that you came from. So these things like this, they let you appreciate the culture. It let you appreciate the culture, especially your upbringing, or if you come from first generation or anything. So shout out to all the Caribbean or anybody that participated in the Mass this weekend in Carabana. But moments like this let you trace back to everything that you stand for, everything that you are. And we had a lot of our supporters who are on Motivation Mondays that played Mass. So I'm glad that everybody got a chance to even I'm getting the calls now. OVO Fest is canceled, so my phone's just going to be ringing nonstop. But hopefully everybody stayed safe. And if shout out my brother Emizo just tuning in, working on it. Yeah, check him out on TikTok.
I talked to him actually. He told me like Wavy's been telling me, you just got to take your videos and just post it. What I realized the other day? It's the same thing like how Snapchat and Instagram came. We got on that and used it. Now it's like 10 years later, it's the same thing. So TikTok in 10 years, so I got to get the ball rolling. And I've been getting mad followers lately thanks to Motivation Mondays and like a couple weddings I've been doing. So I can't let the ball drop on that one. No problem, brother. King Vontae, everyone tune in. Send this out to your immediate circle. We're going to have a great conversation. But let's get into it. The importance of being independent. What does someone being independent mean or can do for their life?
If overall, independence in the definition itself is to free yourself from control, to stand on your own. That's why I look at it from independent. And I think that is so crucial for oneself, because like we're all individuals. Even those who have twins, identical twins, is still a separate entity, right? So it's huge.
Yeah, I muted it. I just
got the feedback. One of the phones needs to be mute.
Yeah, respect. I just did that.
Okay. Yes. Thanks. Appreciate that. But so getting back into independent is like just being free from your control, standing with yourself if you have identical twins or anything. But learn to free yourself from what others people think, say. Be your own person.
And there's usually that saying where it's like people who don't like to ask for stuff usually work the hardest because they know they don't want to either hear a no or they rather hear from themselves. Like the work that they put in be the results of whatever they're able to do and not rely on somebody else to be able to do things. And everyone give me a thumbs up if we're good. I muted it. I just want to make sure we're good. I got the AirPods in, so if we're good to go, just put a thumbs up so I know we're Gucci.
Well, dealing with about, like, I guess you talk about relying on other people, overstand on your own. Like, you often hear me say expectation does lead to disappointment because you can never, nobody's going to take care of you like how you would take care of yourself, right? You can never expect somebody to put you where you need to be or beyond where it is that you need to be. They might support you, they might love you from a distance, but you know yourself, right? So that further goes into the whole aspect of being independent. It's kind of like, I'm not saying don't go for help when you can, but most importantly is like, don't depend on people. Don't lean, don't be a crutch. Like, don't look for reasons why your life cannot move forward because you're waiting for somebody else to do something for you or you're waiting for something else to happen. You got to create those moments for yourself because everybody have their own battles. You know, we come in today, Monday morning, is a holiday, and somebody might feel like, you know what, today's my time off, and you're expecting something from them, right? Because it's important to you and you need to have this done by, let's just say, tomorrow. But part of their self-care is to take the holiday off, right? So you dependent on that person to come out and look out and be the answers to why it is that you need to do what it is you need to do tomorrow. Could put you in a vulnerable place.
And there's a couple factors that when you're not independent and dependent on people, it can bring anxiety, it can bring stress. And obviously, while being independent, the opposite of that would be reducing stress because, you know, in certain times with individuals, we're our own emotional crutch, advisory, counsel. There's so many things that we're talking to ourselves in our head and having daily conversations to make certain decisions. And if you rely on others and something goes wrong, then right away it messes you up because it wasn't planned. You were expecting, it's like what you just talked about where expectation leads to disappointments.
Well, yeah, we talk about reducing stress. It's kind of like, once you have removed the stress factors, once you have removed the potential stress factors, you're going to realize it's really up to you. We talked about every day, live your life like you're the superhero in your movie, right? Once you have diffused or eliminate other factors and realize this, you got to get up. You got to do what it is that you need to do. You do not have to worry too much of why things don't work out because you take full accountability. You realize that I got to lace up my boots and get to work, right? But when you have other things in the way and other people stopping from where it is that you need to be, there's always going to create that additional stress, that external stress that you do not need. Internally, we know that if we need to do this, we can get it over with. But when it's out of your hands, when it's out of control, and earlier we talked about the definition of independent is like not having control over you, right? The freedom, right? So when you remove these things, when you don't depend on too many people and you realize it's internal, right? Internal stress, you know to work it out. External stress is much more difficult, right? Because it's easy to get over a hurdle that you put in place of yourself. But when somebody else put that hurdle in front of you and you're waiting for them to remove that hurdle, you're in control of you. And that's how we have external stress leading on to other measures and potentially affecting your life, not just your day.
And, you know, our platform is based on you versus you.
Literally. I mean, that's the core foundations. We want people to accept that. You're better off being independent. I mean, one of the things that we're realizing now is that like a lot of people are adapting to the westernization way of life, right? The way of being independent. We have most of these places like Asia and Africa that kind of deal in the whole collectives idea about community, but we know as an individual, right? And I'm not saying this is the perfect way for everybody, but we know as an individual, one of the best ways for you to overcome anything that you're going for is to realize it's you. It's literally you versus you. Because if you, like I said, keep saying this, if you're waiting for somebody else to be the reason why you have a good day, be the reason why you pursue your dreams, it will never happen because they also too have your dreams and goals that they need to achieve, right? So on this side of the world, the idea of I seems to be working.
And it's like, you know, one of the first things to be independent as we talk about on this platform is believing in yourself.
Yeah.
Having that self-confidence to know that I can do this. I can, you know, and what I've been even telling myself is, like, for instance, this week I was around like LeBron, all these guys, And it was just a realization, a reminder of the great things they're able to do, but they're all human. There's some kind of decisions and sacrifices that set them different to be who they are. You know, as I do my thing, even as an MC and weddings, it was over the year of like practice and repetition of doing the same thing and, you know, finding what works and adding it to my craft. And like this weekend, I got paid my most ever for doing a wedding. And it was like, it was a happy moment for me.
I mean, it's growth. That's what the thing's about. When you take full accountability and responsibility for what happens to your life, things will start to pan out, right? You got to realize it's you that got to perfect your skills. It's you that got to get up this morning and do the necessary things so you can get to where it is that you need to be, right? So you've seen the results, and not to say that if you do everything right today, you're going to see results tomorrow. That's not what we're saying. We're saying is take full accountability for what happened to you, right or wrong. Whenever you make a choice or a decision, be independent. The keyword independent is in the individual self, right? And work on your craft, work on perfecting it, work on being a better person, work on how you can contribute to this world and not wait for the reason why you don't do something because of somebody else. There's always going to be. We live in a planet where we at 7.5 billion. Are we dropping? Where we at COVID, monkeypox? Are we dropping? Is the numbers dropping? We're not sure. But I think, you know, there's 7.5 billion people in this world, and everybody have different views and how they view the world, what it is that they want for themselves. So it's difficult for somebody to convince somebody to work on your plan with you. You know, those people who walked around that are manipulative or these things that could take advantage of people to make them work in their favor. And later we'll talk about, you know, setting boundaries for yourself and about learning to say no, other things. And know that you're not a stepping stone for anybody. Know that, then don't look for a stepping stone for your life either.
And I was gonna ask, the mind plays, the mind has a way of tricking us sometimes, and it can get the best of us where we think like, okay, there's certain stress you don't want to take on, so let me see if I can either be somebody else's stress or if somebody can help me ease that stress. And it's funny, but I want to know, like, what is the reason for that? Is it our habits? Is it where our, like, what our daily thoughts are? Like, where is it that, because in order to believe in yourself, you got to be on a positive, like, thinking note of life. To know that, yo, you know what? I can preach positivity. I know if I start my day like this, it can add to everything else to make me have either a great day or add to a plan or something that I'm working on. But I think the mind tricks us sometimes and we don't even realize.
Well, I think a couple of weeks ago when we had the Ontario, we talked about imposter syndrome.
Steven.
Yeah, we had Steven here and he was talking about imposter syndrome, about the mind telling us who we think we are. Because every time we learn something new, we kill our old self. Who you are now is literally what you have learned up till now. And it could be wrong, it could work out for your life. Nothing is perfect. Anytime you learn a new information, you become a new person. When you become that person new, you basically conflicted with who you were yesterday, because now you have learned something that's not what you knew yesterday, so you're a different person, but you're killing your old self by doing that. And obviously that's when we deal with imposter syndrome, with the mind playing is like, who am I? Was I wrong this whole time? What kind of life have I been living? Right? So when we talk about the mind playing with ourselves, that's what I think people often deal with. And every time we deal with that, it's a sense of like, we're not true to ourselves. And we talk about imposter syndrome, we're basically in conflict of, are we fake? Is this what I really want? We're kind of in denial because we like certainty. We like to know who it is we are, where we're going, and how it is going to be tomorrow. So in fact, learning something new will change that. Because then what you thought you were, what you thought you knew is wrong. You're a new person and you adapt to it. And then that's the battle that you have with the mind at that very moment. Like, who are you? You don't know yourself as you think you do.
And I see everybody agreeing over there in the comments with some fire emojis and facts. And you know, I encourage everybody to understand why it's important to be independent. Like, have that conversation with yourself. Go through what your goals are or what your plans are, whether it's your 5 year or 2 months or 6 months. And also shout out to all our people on YouTube as well too. If you're on our IG live, make sure you head to our YouTube page, Motivation Mondays live, to subscribe, and you can watch it live and direct. We keep the live over here just to get the community engaged and know exactly what's happening live and direct. So I'm glad to see we have a couple people. My States people are joining us as well too. Harrison, shout out to you, my Columbus family. But being self-motivated. Max, I know there's some days I can test it. Not every day. This morning, I'm gonna tell you right now, even getting up, I was like, how did I do it? But I was happy that the team was on it. And the way I'm at, I don't want to be that guy to be like, yo, to come up with excuses. Because I know how important Motivation Monday is for myself. When we have these conversations and I hear it. And yes, people are saying, yo, keep this up. We're speaking the word. But there's nothing more satisfying than being self-motivated. But we know each and every day you're not going to be motivated.
100%. External motivation could go so far. There's so much that Motivation Monday could do for you. You know, we start Motivation Monday. Every Monday is great. But eventually, that's it. When the show ends, the best thing that you could do is to have self-motivation. Because no matter what we say on this platform, you'll find a reason not to use it. And that's why we just keep it one day, you know. And then even sometimes we have those who played sports, or those people who have those life coaches in their life. They're encouraging, but sometimes you don't have it. You have to go within yourself. Self-motivation is the best thing for you. And then earlier you talked about coming here and the team. Have something outside that's greater than you, that will pull you, right? That will pull you. Because I'm telling you, if it's just about you, you're going to quit. You're going to quit. People put way more into others than they put into themselves. I.e., look at your past relationships. Think about how far you have went for people, and just think about how far you went for yourself. Is anywhere. It's not that. There's a few people, the narcissistic people, the narcissistic group who always put themselves first. But just think about it. How far you have went in your past relationship. How far you have put other people in front of you, right? Making sure somebody's good. Hey, did you have something to eat today? Checking on them. Hey, did you do what it is? And I bet you skip breakfast for like the last 5 days. Literally, like, you know what I mean? So self-motivation is so key, right? Because we're always thinking about others. Then we talk about independent, you know what I mean? Learn to put yourself first. Learn to be self-motivated. Nobody's going to come drag you to the finish line. You have to drag yourself. If you're waiting for Motivation Monday to be the reason why you reach your goals and dreams, what do you do when our internet don't work? You know what I mean? What do you do when Max or E-Bone don't show up? Does that mean does your life stop there? Right? You know, motivation is a platform to guide those people who may be looking for it, but don't let it be that crush that you lean on for the rest of your life. Right? Learn to be self-motivated. The best thing that I will want for Motivation Monday is for nobody to be tuning in Motivation Monday because they don't need the motivation. They know they can get it done themselves. Then the job here is done, leaving the world a better place than you found it. And that's what it is. Self-motivation is key. Right? Self-motivation is key, because when times do get hard, you find a reason why Max and E-Bone are not the answer for me. Why this is not doing it for me. But when it's against you, put yourself first. Do all the necessary things that you know that you need to do.
And you know, we got a comment here. A lot of people have self-negative vibes, but when you're woke, you realize that you woke them as well. But some don't want that. Like, and I guess he's talking about from conversations, wanting the best for people because you believe in yourself. You're self-motivated, so you want the people around you to be on the same tip. But one thing I realized, we can't change people.
You can't change people. People can only change themselves. Right? You hear this saying all the time. You could bring a mule to the water, but you can't force him to drink. You can bring a donkey to the water to the lake. But you can't force him to drink. It's kind of like the exact same thing. Connect yourself with like-minded people that you feed the energy of. There's people that are so, like I keep saying this all the time. I see people who are motivated to do things, and then they get around negative people and they start to dim their lights. By default, we start to adapt to those who are around us. So if you're constantly on a high energy level and you get around people and they're like, that's not going to work, this, that, you need to learn to separate yourself. This doesn't mean you have to be in conflict, you have to have a battle with them, you have some type of hatred towards them. This just means you're trying to see the brighter light for your future. Get around like-minded people. Get around people, they see you doing something, they want to do something. They're going to take it up a notch. And then you guys keep pushing each other through, because that's human. We do need each other. But like I just said, we get around people, we have self-deflating thoughts. We already have self-doubts. So nothing more better than somebody reassuring those doubts by putting additional doubts in our head.
100%. And you know, my guy Snip City says, Respect to the team. You guys are contributing to society. Don't think the good people don't see it. We appreciate your platform, and it's very needed. So, and that comment alone just attests to like where it's bigger than us. That's why we come through. We show up. We try to have guests on here that we see another light from what we're used to from a platform. And energy is the form of everything. Literally, energy can tell you. I'm pretty sure when you have conversations with people, if they have an idea or business, you're looking for that energy to say, okay, is this a business I'm interested or even a person? Because I'm pretty sure when people come to you with business ideas, it's more about the person than even the idea. And through energy is where you're able to, energy tells a lot.
Yeah, well, sometimes I personally have made business deals, just not so much of the business in itself, but the person itself, who I believe in. So energy is a lot. You know what I mean? Keep your head above sea level. Like, you know, don't create doubts in your head, right? Because if I know that you do the necessary things, if I know you go through that wall to get on the other side, I want to be on your team. Right, so that's what we talk about energy. Like, you may not have the answers, but you have the mindset to get the answers, and that's the thing, right? You don't need much right now, but you gotta have the willpower to know you're going to do all the things that you know you need to do.
And you know, when it comes to like, we were talking about motivation. When it comes to like your goals, whether it be you want to lose weight, you want to tone, get a new job, move up in that position. Mm-hmm. You don't want to get too backtracked and not put in like the little work of climbing up the ladder to do certain things. I feel like sometimes people can get caught up whether they think they're too independent or things are just going to work for them. I shouldn't go out there and do the extra. Because I feel like people who get these higher positions in jobs or get certain gigs or certain opportunities that are great for them, there's a little bit of extraness that they have to do. Mm-hmm. And it's important. You know, you can't get caught up thinking, okay, I'm going to go to this job, do what they asked me for, and then that's it. You know, what sets you different?
Something has to pull you. Something really, literally has to pull you. That's what's going to separate you, that you are a different individual. Remember, we keep talking about independence. The key word of independence in indie, the individual. That's what sets you different. And that's what you got to constantly work on.
And, you know, I always encourage everybody, Security, how you doing? I always encourage people to find their passion or find what you're passionate about. Whether you're in the right space to attack it and work on it, still find out what you're passionate about.
And that's exactly it. But talking about finding out what it is, it's not about what you're passionate about, because it's not what you get in the end, is who you become, right? The reason why we lose so much about chasing things is there's something called over-justification effect, where we basically lose our self-motivation because of what we're being given, the outcome, right? So that's what we talk about. Find something where you're passionate about. It's not about the money, right? Because the minute you start to make it about the money, you lose the self, the I, the idea of wanting it for yourself. So find something that you're passionate about that you'll do even if you weren't getting paid, right? Because once I said, the over-justification effect is when you know you're going to get something in the end, you lose value in what it is that you're doing. Passion is key. Once again, that's what this platform is about. You know, realizing it's you versus you. Find something that you're passionate about.
And, you know, relying on other people or focusing too much on everyone else can, like, make you lose your way. Mm-hmm. And I say that because if somebody's out there that feels like they're lost, or, you know, you got to break down what have the last 6 months been, or the last month, or even at my job. Like, you got to literally have these conversations and break down things. And I think in life, everything is a breakdown.
Yeah, you always got to analyze back. That's the best way.
Bushman.
That's the best way to deal with things. You know, go back, every game plan. You know, some of the great sports team that we have to discover over the years is watching films, right? Film of your competitors, film of what it is that you've done. People literally record themselves practicing, taking shots in the gym, right? Same thing for whatever skill, so they could go back and dissect, right? So you got to break it down. You got to break yourself down. What it is that you're good at, what it is that you're not, what it is that you need to work on, right? That's the whole point of being independent. Right? Self-interest is okay. Being independent does not mean let's be selfish and only care about self. Self-interest is okay. Self-interest is putting yourself in the position to be able to help others. Selfish is only caring about yourself and what you could do for yourself, right? So self-interest is what I strive for everybody to go for.
And shout out everybody coming in. Bushman, happy belated to you too. And it's crazy because me and Bushman go so way back, and to see the success that he's got in his music career right now, and to see the passion that he puts behind the work, and that's why I like the creativity of like entrepreneurs and artists. And this is why they grow, because there's some work that's being done behind the scene. And once you're able, like I remember the first time seeing Drake post his song. And it's like, in that moment of you making that song and putting the video out, that's not what you're expecting as the outcome. But because you're pushing it and you're doing what you got to do, get your song on platforms, and you're passionate about what you're doing, things like this can happen organically.
Yeah, going through the barriers, going through the wall. Like as I just said, it's not about the destination, it's about the process, because you don't know the outcome. You don't know the outcome. So if you're just literally just doing anything for a specific outcome, chances are I tell you don't start now, because it's not about the end goal. The idea when we talked about objectivity of desire is the only time we're really happy is when we're thinking about getting to that place. But when we get to that place, we're never really as happy as we thought we'll be. That's how humans are. We'll kick it down the wall. I want a new goalpost. I got here, wasn't it? It was the idea of getting there. That's when we were truly happy. So it wasn't so much I'm gonna get this, and when I'm gonna get this, and when I'm there, this is it. But it's the idea of the steps that you take every day. And of course, you're not gonna be able to see everything up front. You're not even like going through a journey, going through the process of something will redirect you to somewhere else that you may never find yourself, man. And that's what it's really all about.
And somebody asked me the other day, yo, Ebon, I'm so gifted and talented in so many things. I don't know if I should just focus on one thing, or the fact that
I love that conversation.
I'm like dibble dabbling in these stuff. Do you think that that's my problem? Like, should I just focus on one thing? But I'm so good at this can help me. But I feel like I'm all over the place. I don't know what I'm doing, if I'm doing an injustice to myself.
The gift and the curse. Those people who are blessed with those gifts, I'm not. I wish I had those things. I'll be just as confused. I love to talk. Always been the thing is that, one of those things. But when people often, that's a good problem to have. However, sometimes it's difficult to manage because you stretch yourself thin. You don't commit yourself to everything. You start something, you give it 20%, you go somewhere else, you give it 20%. The best way to be more effective is give everything all you got, your full undivided attention, and then later jump to a bigger scale. So there's this saying, a master, I gotta pull it up. Don't misquote me this, but I think it goes on to say, a master of one is better than a master of many, or it's vice versa. Or they flip it. Remember, here's the thing about seeing, I always find it interesting. This is a side note that you can always flip it as about how your perspective of looking at something. However, we come to know that even when we look at social sciences, is that you're much more effective in one domain than you can be. You can never be an expert. As you go through the education system, I'll take this for instance. As you go through the education system, if you have anybody here on the master's or PhD level, you don't do everything so broad. When we're young, starting from elementary, whatever, you're taking all subjects. Right, and as you get to high school, you start to bring it down to more of the things that you want to do, focus on. You get to university, it's more like a field. You get to a master's specific field. You get to your PhD, you become an expert in that. So each time you're becoming better and better at one thing. It's like kind of like going through, like I'll say, like it's kind of like a cone, like a flip cone, where you're narrowing your thing. So if you have those skills where you feel like I have so many things, I'm telling you, you're much more effective picking one thing and sticking to it. You might have the regret of what if I did something else, but if you make that decision quicker, I keep saying this, if you make that decision quicker, you could go through what it is that you don't want to go through and eventually come back and go the other way. You know what I mean? So those people, those problems, it's a great thing to have. However, learn to hone down on one thing, because you're just stretching yourself thin. You're not giving it all. Right? You're not giving it all. You're constantly always thinking about something else when you're doing something else. Just do one thing, finish it, give it all you got, so you know it's done. You don't have to live with that regret of what I should have done or what I could have been.
And as you're saying that, I was just thinking, because I remember yesterday as I was getting ready to go to my event, and the world lost a legend in the NBA world yesterday. Bill Russell. And they said he died in his sleep, but they were happy that he was able to live life to his full potential, and also like get his flowers from the NBA, where they got the MVP award for the finals, and he was able to still add to the history that he already created. And that is like a peaceful death where the family and friends are happy with. And obviously death is one of those no one's ever happy with, but to know that somebody lived their full potential and did what they literally did everything and put it out there, and it didn't matter at the age group or it didn't matter how far back in the NBA or the rings that they won, he was still important and got his flowers.
Yeah, I mean, death is one thing that we have to know when to talk about, but we're all going to die. And it's one of those things that we don't speak of. You know, we all just hope and pray that it's much later than sooner. Right? But the thing is about living life to your full potential, you could be at peace. You live life with no regret. You know, life is tough as it is. You know, you don't want to spend your last days, your last moment thinking about what else you could have done and what you should have done. Right? So rest in peace to the late Bill Russell.
And a lot of people, I don't know if you saw the podcast with Mike Tyson where he said his age was he feels like he's nearing expiration like of his time on earth, and that's because he looked in the mirror and saw like it was like a mole or something, and he's like, damn, like I'm getting old.
Yeah.
But and I hate when people do that, because it's like once they talk, like I don't know, when you speak things into existence,
energy attractions, it must mean something. I don't want to get it. This is not a spiritual podcast, but it must mean something. It must literally mean something. Those often who flirt with death often see death much earlier than what it is. For whatever reason, why they're so inclined to speak about it, I don't know. I'm not an expert on that. I don't want to be an expert on that.
We'll leave that at that.
I don't want to study that. I'm not interested in that. I love it here. I want to be here for a long time. And with that being said, those people who don't feel the same and feel like, you know, I think it's a time to mention those people who are feeling like dealing with mental health and suicide is that give it a chance. Reach out to somebody. Get help. You know, there's people in this world that care about you. Maybe you're just looking at the wrong places. And often enough, people underestimate how deep people care about them. So I just wanted to use that moment to talk about those people who may not feel those ways, having that mental battle with themselves and not wanting to be here. And if you know, and we talk about independent earlier, is like learn to be there for those people in hard times. And my last thoughts on being independent is there's this general rule. Even you find this in the you know, we talk about being elderly and getting close to your death. When we talked about, what do we call this? In the, help me out here, the elderly home. What's the word for it?
The which one?
The elderly home. What's the word for it?
Oh, Lee, this is crazy. There's an actual term that...
There's an actual term that they use in the elderly home. However, there's a general rules that don't do nothing for none of the patients that they could do for themselves, right? Part of getting old is you tend to lose everything, right? Then you lose the idea of
nursing home.
Nursing home, yes, that's what you. That's I can't believe that, right? In the nursing home, there's a general rule is don't do anything for anybody that they could do for themselves, right? Because the whole idea is as you get older, you lose the sense of independence. It's like a life cycle. So we talk about death, we talk about getting old. It's kind of like the exact same thing. Don't do nothing for anybody that they could do for themselves. Right, I know people want to help, people want to get in the way. And also, I'm speaking about people who are also dependent. Also, if you have kids, right? Parents, if you have kids, yes, you could put on your kid's shoes faster in 20 minutes. Yes, you could get them dressed in 10 minutes. But allow them to be independent. Yes, it might take 40 minutes. That's 40 minutes of them being better person than who they were yesterday. Because what do you teach a person when you do everything for them? Right? Because eventually, you may not always be there for them, right? So we know about life cycle, we mentioned death, we know about talking about kids and early on in life is allow people to be independent, right? It may take them longer, but it's okay. It's okay. It's all that people have. It's the only thing that's going to put us through. Allow people to be independent, right? Don't do nothing for anybody they could do for themselves. That's the take-home message today. Don't do nothing for anybody they could do for themselves.
And, you know, I want to talk about broadening your horizons, because it's so easy to forget about taking time during our busy lives or work schedule or like even a busy weekend like this, you know, to live in the truth. And I want to encourage everyone to practice self-care. That's so important to get you to think straight, to make you make better decisions, to make you care about yourself and put yourself first. because that's when you realize like you're all you got.
That's what we talk about, self-interest, putting oneself first, right? This doesn't mean I'm going to step on somebody else to get to where I need to be. It's like, I'm going to take care of myself. It's the only way. It's the only time you're able to help people. Self-care, broaden your horizon.
And, you know, it's even when it comes to traveling, that's why I love traveling. Like, it's just new experiences, new places, seeing different cultures, even food. Like, the other day, it was crazy. I was just reminiscing about Jamaica, like just going to the beach and being able to like eat some jerk chicken on the pot, and just like that experience of it. And we were talking about it. It started a conversation with my people, and I'm like, why is the jerk chicken on the pot so like rich? Like, why is it so different? And we started talking to the charcoal, the way it burns. And I'm like, oh, it's so cool how like back to what we were talking about in the beginning of Caribbean and Carnival of culture. Being able to experience different cultures and
those things keep you going. Like when we talk about, broadening your horizon, is that you got to step out of your comfort zone. You got to see what works best for you. And travel may not be for everybody. Some people's idea of starting a business, those creative people's one thing after the other. They have so many great things they want to do, but get out there.
And good morning to you too as well too. And everybody who's coming in to the live. If this is your first time, whether you're coming on our main page, you can see Motivation Mondays tagged right here at the bottom. Make sure you click it, follow it. We're live on YouTube right now too, so shout out to our YouTube family. We got some people watching right now. As soon as you come into the YouTube, make sure you click the like button, click the subscribe button, turn post notifications on. So conversations like that you're Nana, I know you love the traveling. I'm seeing my travelers, my world travelers.
Those people that like to travel, great, amazing. Everybody do what works best for them. Don't feel like you're missing out on anything if that may not be you. Some people are addicted to the grind of constantly working. Do what works best for you. Different temperament, different individuals. We've been focusing on today's episode about the individuals. You do not have to do what everybody else is doing for your life to work out. Right? You do not have to do what everybody else is doing for your life to work out. Right? Your lack of doesn't mean you're not good enough. Right? So
it's funny.
Those people that love to travel, kudos to you. You know what I mean?
They're going to OD with the airplane emoji in the comments.
Let's do a shout out to them. Me, I'm only interested in traveling for the food, the experience of other people's food, other cultures. That's what this really is all about to me. But as far as travel, I hate getting taken out my domain. When I'm at the beach, I'm thinking about work. When I'm at work, I'm thinking about the beach, But hey, we have to control that.
It happens to the best of us. And shout out to my guy, we call him Kweku the Traveler. So it's funny that he came into the live at that
universe attraction, universe aligning itself, the spiritual people.
Literally. And oh no, the live ended on here, but we'll jump back on there as well too. But this will give everybody time as well that are on the YouTube right now. I'm gonna make sure that we sort that out on this end and go right back into it, which will probably do a 2-part way. And this is why we encourage everybody to our YouTube family. This is why this is the best.
You guys got the best seat in the house. You didn't miss a beat. To our Instagram viewers, we're trying to get them back on live, but once again, those people on YouTube, take full advantage. You put yourself in a position not to have a lag out. Some people on Instagram right now are panicking. Instagram world, if you're watching this, we told you get on YouTube.
Literally.
We told you get on YouTube. Maybe we have to go on live first.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it to. It's still telling people.
Let's get the affirmation real quick.
Okay, but I think we are good and long.
That one is off. IG Live is off.
And we're telling more followers to join. As soon as we get this one, I'm gonna get everybody to come and let's see. Should be able to come back right now. Might have a little technical difficulties, but we're still good on YouTube. Everybody that's on the YouTube though, go into the comment section. I want to know where everybody's tuning from, whether it's Toronto, Brampton, Mississauga, a different country. Do me a favor, get into the live chat and let me know exactly where you're tuning in. So now I know for sure it's our network. It's the Wi-Fi connection for us because it just popped up to tell me. So we'll get our
let's go ahead. Let's go with affirmation in.
And affirmations are one of those things where we love to talk about because we're talking about self-motivation. We're talking about uplifting yourself and getting to your personal best. And these things are what actually help. Mm-hmm. So we actually encourage people to practice these things. And this is why we make sure when we talk about it, we share it on the live, and we let people know that these are the things that we need to do, and we encourage people to talk about. There we go. Now I think our live is back. Let me make sure we get right into it. There we go. Boom. All right. Harpreet, how you doing? Let's get right back to it.
Shout out Harpreet, girl. We gotta connect. We gotta get you on the platform. Ironically, hey, we were just talking about it this morning. I keep telling you, energy, universal line.
Literally.
But let's get into the morning affirmation of the week. The weekly affirmation. Let's get the mute.
Make sure we can paste this. Oh no, it's got away. You might have to do it again for me, my brother. Darlington, good seeing you. It's good that everybody I got to see this weekend over Carnival. You guys are doing your due diligence, and yeah, still alive, still made it. I don't know how, but no excuses.
No excuses, never no excuses. Let's get into affirmation.
Right. Let's get right to our affirmation. So our affirmation today is, I allow myself to work with confidence towards the realization of my goals. I am thankful for the opportunities that open up for me. I am a natural draw for wealth and prosperity. I am grateful for the support and encouragement from people close to me. With each success, I attract more successes.
Let's get all that back again.
I allow myself to work with confidence towards the realization of my goals. My business is growing to my expectations. I am thankful for the opportunities that open up for me. I am a natural draw for wealth and prosperity. I am grateful for the support and encouragement from the people close to me. With each success, I attract more successes.
In abundance, and that's what it is. This is a matter of speaking everything into existence. Like, it's your confidence, it's your high self-esteem that's going to take you over the edge. You're constantly growing your business. You yourself are a business. Treat yourself like a Fortune 500, right? That's what these things mean to me. It's like you draw success. You allow other people to come to your life. You allow for great things to happen to you, right? It's an abundance.
And you know, it's sometimes you gotta remind yourself. It's like talking your shit, literally. Like, you know,
hey, sometimes you gotta be unmotivated. Sometimes you gotta be the person that stand in the ring, takes self out, and boast yourself. Nobody's gonna come tell you what it is that you need to do. You gotta give yourself the words of encouragement. You know, talk to yourself, but just don't talk back.
Literally, and you gotta be. You gotta want more out of this life, and understand by wanting more, that's just not it. You gotta do as well too.
Yup. And the very end of the affirmation, when it says more success, I attract more success, is a domino effect, snowball effect that we talked about. And that's the exact same thing when things start to go wrong. Everything starts to go wrong, because we all know when you're falling, you start dragging things down with you, and it's pulling you on the wayside. So with more success, you attract more success. Allow other people to come in your life. Be independent. The individual self. On this side of the world, we know it works for those. Nobody's going to come save you. Live your life like you're the own superhero in your movie.
And you literally are. And the minute that, you know, you're able to know that you can conquer that and tell yourself that and actually feel. But there's times where the mind, we talked about mind games, where it's like, you know, your mind can get the best of you and throw you off course. But when you can get into that space where it's like you can conquer it all and feel like, you know, and it's so funny. I remember it's bringing me back to yesterday. We were having a conversation, and someone was introducing me to somebody, and they were just talking about what this guy interviewed Barack Obama, like. And when the person was getting like in the conversation, I'm like, damn. It's crazy that you never think or these things are possible, but when you get there, there's more success that's gonna come. Who's next?
Who's next?
And the person was excited. He's like, yo, I can't wait, because he's like, who else is gonna be next? And that self-confidence, even hearing it from others, I was like, damn, like it helped me at a time where I needed to hear that stuff. Sometimes you need to hear these things.
Sometimes you need to hear these things. That's what I'm saying. Be your own booster. Like, you know what I mean? Be your own booster. Sometimes you just need other people to point out. We take so many things for granted. You know what I mean? Our view of self is not that good.
Literally, shout my guy Steven as well too. I know I'm supposed to make sure he's good with a barber. If you still need it, let me know, and I'll set it up right after that, because I have my guy Brazy cut. But obviously Carnival weekend.
Just get IG back. We're about to wrap things up. Want to say great day to be motivated. Great day to go out there and do the most that you can for yourself.
And before we go, we're talking about the feelings of getting taken advantage of. Because when you're independent and you're good, sometimes you feel like you can help everybody. You can, and it's not a bad thing to want to help others, but you can't do it to the point where it's costing you and it's getting you like backtracked and you away from your goals. Because then it's a decision that you made and you can't blame
So
anybody.
we're talking about take full responsibility for everything that happens to you, right or wrong.
And I any last words or encouragement for those people that may feel like they had a situation where they're taken advantage of, and
set boundaries. Learn to say no. Don't let your mouth overload your back. Saying no is saying yes to yourself.
And we always preach about that, and I know somebody needed to hear that. And as we have people coming back into the live, I just want to bring it back up so people knew we had a little technical difficulties, but YouTube is still running smooth. So if you haven't done so, this is the time that you can go head to YouTube right now and subscribe and get in the live chat. Let us know, where you're coming from, where you're tuning in, who brought you in, just so we can keep the conversation going. And where you can find all our videos and shorts and reels of stuff that we're doing that are impacting and very, great for the community. And, I encourage everyone, even though today it may be like a civic holiday, a break is needed. Sometimes you need that break. If you've been working hard,
reset, but you
need that reset.
We all need that rest.
Don't get too caught up. If you're planning to go to OVO Fest and you're not going, you have time now to work on yourself or don't just
start on those goals. Go look at those goal sheets, those plans. Take full advantage. There's no excuse. You had a free day today. If you have plans today and they got canceled, don't just use it as the reason why you scrap your plans, I should say. But work on yourself. Start on it now.
Literally, and I think that wraps up episode 42. Shout out to everybody that tuned in, that came with feedbacks, questions, a lot of comments in the beginning stage of being independent. Shout out Wavy Digital Media as well too, who holds it down for us behind the scenes. If you're looking for anything graphic work, website, tech, that's the guy to hit up. Make sure you follow Wavy Digital Media. And that wraps it up. It's MC, One Voice of the Culture. I hope everyone has a great and productive day.
Max, the speaker. Thank you guys for the support. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace and love.